Dorothy.
Hi, Joy. Hi, everyone tuning in. Hello, and welcome to the maiden voyage first episode of Drops of Wellness Wisdom with Dorothy and Joy. We are so happy you're joining us here today, and hopefully, you will enjoy the journey with us. We wanted to start today with a bit of an intro of who we are and what we bring to the table in terms of natural wellness. My name is Dorothy, and wellness has been a part of my life pretty much forever. It's been, supporting things, being healthy has been as long as I can remember, as a little kid even. So it's been a constant evolution of what I learn and how I go about achieving these things, and it's always a work in progress. Along the way, I've acquired certifications in group fitness, personal training, nutrition coaching, functional nutrition. I'm a Reiki master. I'm an author. I wrote a book called Empowered Health Naturally. So I've learned a lot, and I have a lot of certifications to bring to the table. Actually, it's been a lifelong passion of mine to help support people in their journey towards empowered health, of taking back control of their own wellness. One small thing I just did want to mention this on this our initial episode is when I was researching how to do a podcast. There's so much like equipment that they recommend and ways to do it, and obviously backgrounds and having the hair and makeup done and all these things. I was like, no, I know I just can't do that. So I almost shut down this project before it even got started, but it was too important to me. I have information to share. Joy has information to share, and we just wanted to get the information out there. And I didn't want to let something like that, like the technicalities of podcast hosting, get the better of me. So, for better or worse, here we are. Hopefully, as we learn and grow, things will get better. But we just are passionate about what we do and what we love. And we just wanted to get that to you without worrying about the technicalities. So take it away, Joy. Welcome, Joy. Tell us a bit about
Thank
yourself.
you. Thank you so much, Dorothy. Dorothy and I met about 10 years ago, and I remember thinking, oh, she's cool. I want to be her friend. And now we are, and it's just fun to just grow together in our health journey. I just like Dorothy's like straightforward approach to health and wellness. Like it can be really simple. It doesn't have to be complicated and involve lots of outside resources. We can really find health and wellness on our own with the right knowledge. I am a mom. My kids are all adults now, but I remember growing when they were growing up, they would be like joking with me or sort of rolling their eyes at me, like, "Mom, is this organic? Are you sure we can eat this?" And they would sort of pick on me about trying to make healthy choices for them. And now as adults, they thank me for it. So I feel like, I was heard, and we're by no means perfect. We just like to be aware of what is out there to keep us healthy and well. We kind of are on a mission to share tips and our little drops of wisdom. So in my work as an essential oil coach and an office manager for a chiropractor, Dr. Allie, I'm constantly learning and then also coaching patients on how to take charge of their health, with really just prioritizing the basic pillars of health and again, trying to keep it simple. So, Dorothy mentioned she's an author and she has this awesome book out, Empowered Health Naturally, that really does simplify everyday wellness. So we kind of used that as a jumping off point for this podcast. And we just want to give some, simple tips each episode. So Dorothy, your turn.
What you were talking about your kids reminded me of like even my mom when I was a kid. And okay, this was over 60 years ago, just for a point of reference. But my mom was the one, we ate whole wheat bread. And back then it was not like the whole wheat bread today. She would take us out into the woods and we'd forage for fiddleheads and, we'd grow a lot of our own food. So, at the time I was like, oh, brother. But, and I'm not to say I ate healthy my whole life after that, but it did kind of give me the foundation of where to start nutritionally for health. And when my kids were growing up, I was the one, and I'm not going to say I didn't feed my kids Kraft macaroni and cheese and things like that, but I think they had the foundation of natural wellness more so than their peers, even though I got more than my fair share of eye rolls as well.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, what you learn from your parents, even at the time when you're particularly teenagers, or my 8-year-old granddaughter has perfected the eye roll really
Oh,
to, I mean, yeah.
yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, so I think that's what we bring to the table. It's just a lifelong love of nature and natural wellness. And I guess I like to say we're just like two gray-haired ladies who like to share what we know and help people be healthy. It's what we do. So I guess we'll just dive into our first little drop of wellness wisdom, Joy.
All
What do you
right.
think?
Yeah, let's do it.
So our intention for this podcast is to share the things that we have learned over our consecutive 50 plus years of learning. And hopefully you guys will be able to take something away, something simple and easy that will help you on your road to personal wellness without it being overwhelming and frustrating. Because I know that like I was watching a reel earlier today, and the guy there was a doctor, an MD, and had a couple of different MDs, and what he was talking about was he didn't know what he was talking about in terms of natural wellness, but because he's an MD, people think he knows what he's talking about. So my goal and my intention for this podcast is, I mean, I don't consider myself an expert, but I do have a lot of knowledge, but I want to make it approachable and say this is all you need to do. You don't need to listen to the people who have the MDs unless they're actually talking about makes sense to you. So what we're going to talk about in this podcast, there's no downside to any of the things that we're going to offer for you to try. So I hope you enjoy it and take from it what you will, and hope you find it helpful. So yeah, so if you have been looking for a light at the end of the tunnel in the overwhelming landscape of wellness, hopefully this will serve as a little bit of a light for you. Make sure to
Excellent.
like and subscribe so that you don't miss an episode.
There you go.
All right,
So
Joy.
I'll start with a little scenario that some of our listeners can probably relate to, like those rushed mornings where you're like not wanting to get out of bed, if you're pressing the snooze alarm, and then all of a sudden you're just go, go, go from like making the lunches, making breakfast, getting your stuff together, getting your kids together if you still have little ones around, and getting out the door, getting to work, maybe dropping the kids and hoping you didn't forget your phone or forget your briefcase or forget whatever. So just kind of
Or forget a kid.
forget a kid, yikes. So just like a lot of people get those stressful kind of days, and then work, 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 and then get home, feed everybody, maybe put your feet up and watch Netflix, and then find it difficult to fall asleep. So it's like nothing about what I just described had you outside or relaxing or any kind of self-care at all. It just kind of go, go, go. So if you can relate to that, and you're not sleeping well, maybe because of that kind of lifestyle, what can we do, Dorothy, to kind of help that cycle, break that cycle?
That is an excellent question, Joy. Thank you for asking it. It is actually one of my most favorite little tips for how to really start down the path of natural wellness. And it's one that so often overlooked. And it is actually my number one core principle in my book because it's one of the most simplest thing to do and one of the most fun and definitely one of the easiest. And best of all, it's free.
Okay,
So
tell us more.
yeah, I try and stop me. The one of the basic foundations for getting past that sort of like wired and tired of your days too long and you don't have the energy at the end of the day, just go say hello to the sun in the morning. It's
Nice.
just that simple. I bet that person in your scenario didn't see the sun at all day, at least
Yeah,
not without her Ray-Bans on. I mean,
right,
when would she have had time, right? She
right.
just, the coffee gets her out the door and the coffee gets her through the day and then the wine gets her through the night.
Yep.
No sunshine. Yet we as humans evolved with the sun to help us all set our circadian rhythm. And we've all heard of the circadian rhythm, but It's not just one thing. It's every cell in our body has its own circadian clock. Every organ in our body has its own circadian clock. And not only that, our microbiome, which is the trillions and trillions and trillions of non-human cells that live within and on our bodies, in our gut and in our hair, our skin, everywhere, they each have their own circadian clock.
Wow.
So we're all our hormones, our digestion, everything centers around the functionality of our circadian rhythm. And the thing that sets that on its path first thing in the morning is the sun on your face. It's just that simple.
That's
If
so
you can
easy.
even spend 5 minutes a day, preferably outside because the window glass will block some of the sun's healing rays. But if you can't do that, at least, and I honestly, I know some people work nights and or they live in a building where they can't get to an east facing window. I know it's not feasible for every single human, but if at all possible, if you can just get outside for 5 to 10 minutes, put your face in the sun, let the sun set all your circadian clocks. That's going to tell your cortisol that it's almost but not quite time to start rising. It's going to right that morning sunlight is going to tell your melatonin in the evening when it's going to be time to start putting you to sleep.
Okay.
And I have heard, and this, I don't know, this is one of those things where you read and you're not sure like which side is true or not, but I know a lot of people take melatonin to sleep, and a lot of people believe that melatonin makes you sleepy, but I've also read credible research that we sleep to produce melatonin,
Yeah.
not the other way around. So either way, it's that first sun in the morning that does help that melatonin production, and all your other hormones throughout the day are going to rise and fall simply from that 5 minute exposure to the sun
Who
in
can't
the
find
morning.
5 minutes? You know,
Right?
that's great.
Right?
And what about like on cloudy days or rainy day?
Even on cloudy days, your body knows the sun is there.
Okay.
You know, if you could stay out maybe a little bit longer on the cloudy days just to give your face a little bit more exposure, but the sun knows, your body knows where the sun is. So even on cloudy days, you're going to get the benefit of the sun on your face.
That's so cool. I mean, the sun, when you think about it, is like the source of all life, right? And if
Exactly.
we're living on this earth, we need the sun just as much as our garden needs the sun and our plants. So very cool. We're getting a lot of artificial light in our life too, right? So that's not good.
That's true. We have so much blue light exposure between just even our household lights are not natural lighting. We have our, I mean, I mean, who isn't like this all day long? And then we
Yeah.
come home and we watch the TV and we're on our computers and we can't avoid it. And, the blue light blocking glasses and changing your light bulbs are all great. Um, but we still were exposed to so much artificial blue light that really interferes with all of the hormone production that we're talking about in terms of setting it first thing in the morning. So, along with getting your sunshine in the morning to start that clock for the day, it really is helpful you need to get out in the middle of the day as well. They say that your vitamin D, which is actually a hormone produced by your body with a reaction to the sun, the best time to get the vitamin D production is at noontime. But if you haven't had your morning exposure to the sun, you will not be able to synthesize that vitamin D from the sun, even if you get out at noontime. So it's this morning
What?
exposure that really sets up the success for the entire day. So even getting out in the middle of the day is not as effective if you haven't gotten your morning dose of sunshine on your
No.
face. So yeah, we evolved with the sun, and the sun. I mean, I've even heard that we aren't, even though we're not plants, our cells react with photosynthesis from the sun. So we
Okay.
can create energy in our bodies just from the sun. So, I mean, there is a group of people that says you don't need food, all you need is sun.
Oh,
I'm not so sure that
yeah,
that is true. I think that humans, we need like food, we need our energy from other sources as
right.
well. I'm not gonna say I know for sure one way or the other, but I think it's pretty clear we need food and as well. But
Yeah.
I mean, to think that we can make energy from the sun, I think is fascinating.
And do you think you mentioned that getting it without sunglasses and without windows in between you and the sun. If it is only through glass, is that better than nothing? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. It just the having the light on your face
Yeah.
will start some of those processes, but there's so many. I mean, we know about UVB and UVA, but there's way more uh, you know, rays of sun than just those two. And they all work just like everything in nature. They all work synergistically with one another. So removing some of them with window glass is less effective, but it's still better than nothing. And absolutely covering your eyes with glasses because it's really through your eyes that you're getting all the benefit of the sun. So if you cover it with, again, with sunglasses, you're not really getting, I mean, obviously, you're not going to stare at the sun. That would just be foolish. We all know better. And you couldn't really. It's pretty
Yeah.
much physically impossible to stare at the sun without closing your eyes. But even if you can scrunch them open just a little tiny bit to let some of that sun in your eyes, that's where you're going to get the best benefit. So, yes, through a window is better. No sunglasses, please. No sunglasses
Yeah.
and no sunscreen because you do want 5 minutes is not going to cause skin cancer is in the
Right.
morning or whatever,
Right.
wrinkles or whatever it is you're
Right.
afraid of. Just let the sun do its thing on your body. Let it into your eyes. If what I like to do is that my front porch serendipitously faces due east.
Nice.
So unless it's just really ugly out, I'll go out, I'll take my bevy or my coffee, whatever it is, and I'll go out and sit on my front porch and just let the sun. It just feels
Nice.
so good. It gets all those, it creates the sun on your face will create that serotonin production in your gut. And that's your happy hormone. Who doesn't want to start the day happy? Am I right? I
Right.
mean, let's do whatever we can to start the day on a good note, and that involves getting out and getting in the sun. And if you can't get outside, at least get in a window with
Mhm.
nothing blocking your eyes from the sun.
And there's ways to be creative with that too, like eat your breakfast outside or, just have your first meeting of the day out in the parking lot or something just to be outside a little bit more than we are, There's definitely ways to figure it out.
Absolutely, Joy. Those are some great suggestions. So can you think of any other ways? That's a good idea. Like what other ways can you get outside, particularly if you're busy and you might not have time to just relax and drink your
Like
coffee?
if you're like doing homework with the kids, have them do their homework outside. They can have a battery operated laptop if they're on a computer or or just bringing their notebooks outside, but there's a lot of things we can do outside, reading, for one, of course, but if we're doing a lot of our normal things at home, our meals and our homework and our planning or a lot of couples will sit down together and try to have their like huddle time to just see what's going on with you and do it outside.
Yeah, those are some great suggestions. Great suggestions. And for some noontime sun, I know we're talking mostly about my core one, which is first thing in the morning, but like have your lunchtime meetings
Yeah,
outside.
yeah.
Go have your lunch outside or have a meeting outside, go for a walk and get some sunshine.
What are we
Um,
thinking? Why didn't we do this podcast outside?
right?
Hello. No.
Hello.
Practice what you
Yeah, that would
preach.
have been a great idea.
No, no, it's
Hindsight, right?
yeah,
Hindsight. But yeah, we've all shut ourselves off from the sun for so long. We've all been told to be so afraid of the sun and how dangerous it is, and it's it's the source of all life,
mm,
including ours.
yeah,
It really is, and without it, we just can't thrive. We
yeah.
can't thrive without that sun doing all its amazing goodness for us. So
I have such a vivid, vivid memory of my Aunt Louise. Everyone loved Aunt Louise. She loved winter, she loved summer, she loved all seasons, and she'd be out on the porch with her long wool coat and like scarf and probably a hat in the middle of winter. But if it was a sunny day, she was out there putting her face in the sun. She
I
just
love that. I
yeah,
think I would have
couldn't go a
loved
day
Aunt
without
Louise
it.
too. Yeah, that would be me. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't go out all winter. If it's, I live in New England. I'm not gonna sit out if it's like 4 degrees.
Yeah,
I don't care how warm I dress and how hot my coffee is. I'm not gonna do it.
yeah,
But I do the best I can, and I go out as often as I can. And I'm always so grateful that my front porch. And I moved from the country here to this is a big city for me, even though it's not really a city, but so I have neighbors that walk by. So it's a great way to get to know your
Oh,
neighbors, and
nice.
things like community is important for humans too. So it's just that one simple trick of just getting outside and getting some sunshine can affect so many different parts of your life and your health. So it's just, and it's such a simple thing to do. I know not everybody can do it, but 5 minutes. Who doesn't have 5 minutes to just spend some time outside for all the benefits that come along with it?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. That was certainly simple, and the fact that it's available to all of us, you know, it's easy. Just find a way to fit it into your routine.
We think of getting healthy as these big complicated things that we have to do, and we lose sight of just the simplicity of so
Yep.
much of it. Like you said
Yep.
earlier, health really is simple. Not always easy, but
No,
it's almost always simple. And the simple thing of getting outside for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, most people should be able to achieve that. And I think a lot of people would be surprised at the impact it can have
yeah.
on your day and on your life. So
And sleeping better because you got outside in the morning. That's just great.
exactly. And sleeping better will help you get up early enough to get the sunshine.
There you
So
go.
yes, it's just a win-win all the way around. So we would like to challenge you to go out, particularly if you haven't been in the habit of going outside in the morning. Try it. Give it a try for a week or so, and get out there as many mornings as you can for as long as you can. Do what you can to just enjoy the sunshine, and we would love to hear how it has impacted your day. If you have like really benefited from getting some good morning sunshine.
Excellent.
What what do you think, Joy?
Yeah, I would love to hear what people think. It's again, it's not complicated, and it if it's creating happy hormones, I think you're going to feel better and notice that you feel better when you just get outside.
Agreed. Well, I guess that wraps up episode one, Joy.
We did
So
it.
I hope you all learned something. I hope you enjoyed our time together. I know we did. We love disseminating this information for you. It's just we're so passionate about helping people find easy ways to be healthier. So we hope you enjoyed today's episode. We would love to hear any questions and comments. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. And or wherever it is. I don't know. Is it down there? I don't know. All this technology. I'm just like I told Joy, we're just two gray-haired ladies wanting to do the best we can to help people.
That's
But
true.
so Joy's the techno whiz. I'm just the I don't know. I don't know what part of the operation I am, but comic relief maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so we hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we can't wait to see you for episode number 2.
Woo. Thank you,
Woo!
Dorothy.
Thank you, Joy. I'm so glad you're on this journey with me.
Oh, appreciate you asking me.